All right, welcome back, everyone. Let's dive right into today's explainer because we are decoding a single, incredibly chaotic Wednesday that completely rewrote the alliances, the rivalries, and really the sheer balance of power in the AI industry. We're talking about May 6, 2026. I mean, this wasn't just your standard heavy news cycle. It was an absolute tectonic shift in how the biggest players in tech are actually relating to one another.
Tech reader's Aaron Rose actually hit the nail on the head with this quote. It perfectly captures what we're looking at today, three massive interlocking stories that broke basically simultaneously. We've got explosive courtroom testimony, a staggering multi-billion-dollar infrastructure deal between former enemies, and a major leap in enterprise AI that embeds one company deep into the software we use every single day.
So let's jump straight into Act 1, The Fall of the King.
To really grasp the magnitude of this industry shift, we kind of have to rewind to a story that's been years in the making. Back in February 2018, we have these text messages from Siobhan Zilis to Elon Musk asking if she should stay close to OpenAI, just to keep info flowing. Fast forward to November 2023, and we hit that infamous crisis where CEO Sam Altman was shockingly fired by his board, only to be brought back days later. At the time, most of the industry just wrote that off as a failed boardroom coup. But now, May 2026, former CTO Mira Murati is testifying under oath in federal court, and she's shedding a completely new light on what was actually going down.
Now, here's where things get wild. Legal analysts are currently zeroing in on this concept called the candidness gap. This phrase basically validates the 2023 board's original claim. Remember, when they fired Altman, they said he was not consistently candid with leadership. For years, everybody debated that phrase. Was it a philosophical panic over AI safety, just a power struggle? Well, Murati's testimony bridges that gap, confirming it was actually a response to documented executive deception.
Under oath, which is a huge deal, obviously, Murati testified that Altman was creating chaos. She gave a very specific example, stating he misled her about safety protocols for an unreleased model, telling her the legal team had cleared it when, well, they actually hadn't. She also described him pitting executives against one another. The reason this matters so much is that Murati is an independent third-party voice here. She has no financial stake in Musk's lawsuit, and she even ran the company as CEO for 5 days during that 2023 crisis. Her testimony provides independent executive corroboration of the board's judgment, completely reframing how we understand OpenAI's leadership.
Moving right along to Act 2, the unlikely bedfellows. Okay, get this. Back in February, Elon Musk is on X, literally calling rival AI company Anthropic misanthropic. But on this exact same Wednesday in May, a complete 180-degree pivot. Suddenly, no one at Anthropic set off his evil detector, and everyone he met was highly competent. I mean, you have to ask, why the sudden change of heart, right?
Well, he's not just playing nice for the fun of it. He's practicing what analysts are brilliantly calling exascale diplomacy. Think about it. Musk recently merged his AI venture, xAI, with SpaceX, rebranding to SpaceX AI. They are currently targeting an absolutely massive $1.75 to $2 trillion IPO valuation. To justify that kind of number, they have to prove they aren't just doing rockets and satellites anymore. They need to be an AI infrastructure powerhouse. Securing Anthropic as a marquee compute customer is the exact business logic he needs to legitimize that pitch.
And to get them on board, he offered them this. 220,000. That is the mind-boggling number of NVIDIA GPUs that Anthropic is now renting at the SpaceX Colossus One data center in Memphis. We are talking about the absolute gold standard hardware here, H200s and the latest Blackwell GB200s, all coming online within a month.
And this isn't just, some abstract promise for the distant future. Anthropic immediately gains 300 megawatts of new capacity. Because of this, developers are seeing instant benefits today. At their San Francisco Developer Conference, Anthropic announced that Claude Code's 5-hour rate limits are instantly doubled for top tiers, and peak hour throttling is just gone, completely removed. That's a massive surge in API volume, letting developers push way more data through their systems right now.
But wait, it gets crazier, because they aren't stopping in Tennessee. Musk and Anthropic are looking at a much longer game here: orbital compute. Yes, space-based AI data centers. Just think about the logistics. Up there, you have near-constant solar energy, and you can literally use the vacuum of space for passive cooling. That completely solves the two biggest bottlenecks for Earth-bound data centers, which are power and heat. And the only reason this isn't pure science fiction is SpaceX's Starship.
Its massive payload capacity makes lifting heavy GPU infrastructure into orbit a viable, near-term engineering reality.
Which brings us to Act 3, the enterprise embedding.
As if the SpaceX deal wasn't enough to totally shake up the industry, Microsoft drops a bombshell of their own. Copilot Cowork is going mobile, expanding fully to iOS and Android. This is a fundamental shift, guys. We're moving away from AI as just a simple chatbot assistant and turning it into an automated mobile operator. You literally no longer need to be sitting at a laptop to execute complex workflows.
Picture this workflow. You're on your morning commute and you remember a complex task. You just delegate it via your phone. Cowork then takes over in the cloud using what they call skills. Skills are basically reusable sets of instructions that encode exactly how your organization wants work done. The structure, the tone, the approval paths, the whole shebang. Cowork executes the task automatically, and by the time you sit at your desk, you return to a finished outcome. It's going to completely standardize how teams operate.
But here is the absolute jaw-dropper for our May 6th timeline. Microsoft explicitly stated that Copilot Cowork was designed in close collaboration with Anthropic. Claude Opus 4.7 is embedded right inside this platform as a selectable model. When you're using Cowork to connect with third-party apps like HubSpot or Notion, you can choose to have Anthropic's model driving that work, right inside Microsoft's flagship enterprise AI product. And finally, the climax. Anthropic, the hidden victor. When you take a step back and piece together all of these separate events from this single Wednesday, it's just wild. A very clear, almost hidden victor emerges. The sheer scale of Anthropic's power stock is literally off the charts. They're successfully pulling massive compute from every major competitor out there. They have up to 5 gigawatts with Amazon, which, by the way, is enough energy to power a major city. Another 5 gigawatts coming from Google, a $30 billion Azure deal with Microsoft, massive US infrastructure through Fluidstack, and now 300 megawatts and 220,000 GPUs from Elon Musk.
So the big takeaway here is Anthropic's quiet, almost unbelievable omnipresence. Think about the irony. Back in March, Anthropic was cited as a supply chain risk by the Pentagon. Today, they're renting a massive GPU fleet from SpaceX, the exact same company that hosts the Pentagon's most classified AI infrastructure. Within 24 hours, they secured that infrastructure, doubled capacity for their developers, and deeply embedded themselves into Microsoft's ecosystem. And they pulled all of this off on the exact same day their primary rival, OpenAI, is facing brutal testimony in federal court. This single Wednesday in May completely flipped the board. It shifted the whole narrative away from individual chatbots and courtroom drama, firmly grounding it in the physical reality of global data centers and deep enterprise integration. It leaves us with one profound question to ponder as we watch this new world order take shape. As these old rivalries fade and these massive new alliances merge, who really controls the infrastructure of our AI future? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I'll see you all next time.